I've been called a cynic, a stoic. Some people call me a space cowboy. I don't think I've ever been called a gangster of love, but I have been insulted with invectives that the FCC would bleep were I to repeat them. But in this particular moment, peeling back the layers of my psyche, trying to make sense of an upside-down world, I'd say that I am mostly disillusioned. Now, don't be upset or feel sorry for me. Disillusionment is a gift. Disillusionment. Losing the illusion. The moment a spell breaks isn't a crisis, it's clarity. Seeing the cold, dystopian truth of reality makes it easier to respond appropriately. Watch this clip.
What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
How are you today, sir?
Okay, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, sir. Here you are, sir. Thank you. Hey, buddy. You gonna pay for that or what? Look, buddy, I don't want no hassle today. Either pay for it or put it back.
In the classic 1980s movie They Live, I love this movie. In it, our heroes find a box of sunglasses that, once worn, reveal an electronically altered reality. Ordinary-looking people now appear monstrous. A wad of cash is worthless white paper printed with large black block letters declaring, "This is your God." Eventually, a cabal of uber-wealthy aliens working with Earth's 1% is exposed, their signal is shut down, and everyone awakens. Look, it's not the most subtle movie in the world, but it is a great ride. And in this day of doom scrolling and wealth inequity, it's a prescient reminder that too many of us have bought into the illusion that the world must be organized into those who have much and those who have little to nothing. The real work of healing and repair can't begin until those illusions break, or we break them. Losing our illusions about the world, our friends and family, and ourselves isn't the same as losing faith. Rather, it's the result of an intense, self-reflective process. It's a lot of work. Disillusionment disperses the fog of harmful ideologies and willful ignorance. It's the moment we realize God is not enthralled by our stagecraft and empty rituals, and neither are we. Not anymore. We need a faith that can help us navigate this difficult world while we also work to change it so that not only they, but all of us have a chance to truly live. Not work ourselves to death, but live. The gift of disillusionment begins not with anger at hypocrisy, but with the acceptance of reality for what it is: unfair, disorienting, and stacked in favor of those who already have everything. Disillusionment clarifies how we perceive power in others and how we discover our own. It reveals who benefits from our social systems, exposing who decides whose voices are heard and who's protected when things go wrong. We do not owe our trust to any structure that refuses to be seen or does not serve the common good. Disillusioned, we see how purity standards often function as social control rather than genuine care for our neighbors. We notice that holiness often quarantines strangers instead of welcoming them. And awakening then becomes a shift from a faith that we feel to a faith that moves us to actively serve. That service begins with genuine loyalty to people, especially those most vulnerable, not to institutions or reputations. Many of us learned to defend our reputations and our institutions before we learned that our neighbors needed protection from those same institutions. If naming harm feels disloyal, remember, loyalty to people's well-being outweighs loyalty to any brand, church, corporation, or government. So, with that clarity, let's try a little exercise. Write down 3 beliefs or convictions you've held. These can be anything. Maybe something like institutions are neutral, or expertise equals virtue, or growth cures all, markets are moral, technology is impartial. Maybe you think the church never lies, or that security justifies secrecy. Just take a second and write down 3 beliefs or convictions that you have. They don't have. Now, next to each of those, consider the motivating need that your belief or conviction fulfills. For example, a need for community, a need for predictability or fairness. Maybe you have a need for moral clarity or progress or safety.
Our need?
Yes. What do you think your need is that's motivating you to these belief systems or convictions? A need you might think you need filled. And then in the last column, just match each illusion that you have been holding to a blessing instead of getting upset about it. For example, bless the truth that people build institutions. Bless the truth that victims deserve immediate care. Bless the truth that power shared is power sanctified, for example. I'm going through these because it's an exercise you can do at home, so I'm going through it a little bit quickly. The idea then, once you get this completed, is to share a blessing with a friend, because truth grows better in company than in isolation. Now, I know it's probably rather tempting to just ghost the entire scene, run to a quiet corner of the world, restore a villa, grow lavender, bake some bread, and milk the goats. Not that I've given it much thought. But on some days, disappearing feels like the only way to preserve any semblance of integrity and sanity. And sometimes it is. Our mental and physical safety matters. But if we're called to stay in any capacity, then our task is to repair, to heal our civilization's moral architecture, which obviously is in a bit of a shambles. Using the framework of disillusionment, safety is secured through consent and trauma awareness, not just open arms or even thoughts and prayers. Shared power involves rotating roles, clear channels for dissent and accountability. And responsibility means repairing harm instead of protecting one's reputation. Truth-telling is about transparency rather than spin, and it includes public processes, clear findings, and corrections made openly, not in smoke-filled back rooms. And none of this requires perfection. It only requires honesty. I think we can apply these principles in every setting, regardless of its size. For example, we could post threshold agreements wherever people gather, like just 3 simple commitments plain in public. And again, these are just ideas. Something like, we practice care in all of our interactions. We respond to harm with concern, not spin. And we welcome challenge as a form of love. Disillusionment doesn't end with a mic drop. It ends with a decision to intentionally repair harm wherever we encounter it or wherever we cause it. I suppose that ultimately what I'm suggesting is just a return to thinking on a human scale, getting more involved locally, even if only with the nice lady living next door, even if only with the annoying lady living next door. Ideas matter, but ideas alone cannot carry a soul through a hard week or a city through a difficult season. Meals, phone calls, rest, mutual aid, civic presence, a good story, or a heartfelt, out-of-tune song always help. Laughter truly is the best medicine. Our tiny gestures of service are testimonials to love, not the type with poems and chocolates and strings at some remote, let's say, lavender farm, but with a casserole and a quiet, how are you holding up? Right here, right now. Disillusionment lets us ask better questions. What if atonement is liberation from cycles of harm? What if mission means presence, partnership, and repair? What if holiness is tenderness, the courage to touch what's broken without pretending it isn't? When we stop protecting illusions, we free our energy for a love that shows up and acts. We discover that the gospel is more like a potluck than a press release, more a crossing guard than a celebrity pastor, more library than stage. Devoid of illusions, we discover that God is very interested and involved in ordinary courage. Disillusionment teaches us to watch with open eyes, empathize with a steady heart, and serve with ready hands. We don't wait for permission to practice love. We seek opportunities to do it again and again and again. Those chances come to us every day, on every sidewalk, in every inbox, and at every table. So now, let's let the fog of illusion break so we see clearly, love plainly, repair what's in front of us, and do it all again tomorrow. Amen. A question to discuss today is, what illusions have you dissed? What illusion or illusions have you dissed? Take a couple minutes to think about that. I'll open it up for discussion.